all countries must respect equality of states and the right of people for self-determination. And they also mentioned the United Nations General Assembly resolutions, and this is clear that what they mean is the series of resolutions which they passed after the beginning of the special military operation, and which demand condemnation of Russia. Russia get out of Ukraine territory in 1991 borders. But there are other United Nations General Assembly resolutions which were not voted, but which were consensual. And among them is a declaration on principles of relations between states on the basis of the Charter. And it clearly says, by consensus, everybody must respect territorial integrity of states whose governments respect the right of people for self-determination, and because of that, represent the entire population living.
I sort of have to be, they have to be on fire, because a man is speaking, somebody that have no joy in speaking. You know, when somebody that comes, you know how Russians look like. You can look at the face of their president, you will know that they are a country of Mr. No Nonsense. So whenever Putin speaks, you know that somebody is speaking. Whenever you see somebody, you know, the Prime Minister of the Russia talking, you know, before he speaks, he might have been one way or the other discussed with Vladimir Putin. You understand? And before Vladimir Putin will say, oh yeah, go ahead, you will know that this Foreign Affairs Minister have ended up discussing, and Putin have looked into the calendar, you know, of the constitution of the EU and UN. He knows that, you know, he's an European and at the same time a member of the United Nations. You can see, yes. So he knows the charters, and the Finland themselves, these people, during under the Russian colony, they themselves protested. They themselves fight for their rights. They themselves stand up to defend their rights, and they protested. You see, that was why that time that Nigeria protested, that Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Nigerian president, intended to fly to Russia, he was denied by Putin. He doesn't want it. It was not welcomed, because why? The people protested. Putin said it is the right of the people to protest. Why are you stopping them, and why are you killing them? Because that period was the period that people protested so massively. You can see that in Abuja and in northern part of the Nigeria, whereby the Nigerian military and police, you know, arrested so many of them, 9 years, 8 years, 12 years, 10 years, which our president said that they are planning to overthrow his government. Imagine that. Can you imagine that? So Russian President Putin, you understand? It says yes for treason. That's what he said. He now said, if Nigeria can do this, that means it is illegal. You cannot come to my country. And they haven't said that with a couple of what is already on the ground. Finland that is cooperating with Nigeria, you know, to carry to work against Simon Ekman, their citizen. A man who look at the country that he will make his own place. He choose Finland. Is Finland better than England, other part of the world? Canada, USA, and every other places. But he chooses what? Finland. Today, Finland are betraying him. Finland are going against him. Finland are working against him. Finland are partnering with the enemy. And this enemy, remember that Finland did not have any cordial relationship with Nigeria. But now, because of Simon Ekman, Nigeria have promised and reached one kind of time agreement, you understand, to build the embassy that you withdraw from Nigeria, relationship that you withdraw from Nigeria. I believe that something make Finland to remove their embassy here. But now they want to use Simon Ekman to have a relationship. But God will judge. But having said all this, I love what Putin is saying, because Putin, that Prime Minister, understands everything. That self-determination, even before he said it, our Vice President Shetima says it too. It's not news, because Finland self have a self-determination under Russia, and they fought for it, they demanded for it, they protested for it, and at the end of the day, even when they were in exile, it was given to them. So why is it that now another country is in exile and their own exile happen to be in Finland out of love? Now the same Finland now change it and begin to collide with the enemy just to punish Amanekpa. But my brother, no matter what they do, the truth will surely speak out. The truth will surely vindicate us. The truth will surely prove himself. Amanekpa is innocent because he have right to do what? For self-determination, to fight for his right. The people of the land have the right to do what? To fight and to defend their land. See, they say Amanekpa, Amanekpa. Mba have come up with a what? With a proof. Are you hearing me? Of what Amanekpa, a terrorist person, this and that. But ever since Amanekpa have been in jail, does it stop terrorists in Nigeria? Hello, Nigeria. Does it stop the terrorism in Nigeria? Do you know that even since the day Amanekpa was arrested, the Nigerian peaceless doubled his hustle. These herdsmen doubled their hustle. To the point as we speak now, Kebbi is not at peace. Are you hearing me? Taraba is not at peace. Kogi is not at peace. We all know Benue own. We all know Plateau own. Is it the one of Boronu? Is it the one in Katsina, Sokoto, Kwara, Ondo? Is it the one of Ebonyi State, Imo State, even recently as yesterday? I want to know, is this Amanekpa that is doing all those to the people? That is to tell you, I believe that Finland government, the Finnish government and the Finnish court should know what to do. Because this young man have not and have never, I repeat, have not and has never visited any state in Nigeria and caused them pains, rape their women, vandalize their homes, set homes ablaze, set families childless, fatherless, their crops, rape girls. I don't know. Please, can you mention any woman that will have raped any Fulani person in Fulani land in the northern part of Nigeria? Can you mention any woman that travel all the way from the east to vandalize their farmland? Please, somebody should tell me. Somebody should educate me. Because of Igbophobia, because of Biafra, you don't want us to go. You don't want to give us our mandate rights in this country called Nigeria. Baba, we are going. We must go no matter what Nigeria do. We are going. Nigeria is not working and it cannot work. So long these Fulanis are with us and they still remain with us. Yoruba say ko sheshe. Oman So it is better you allow the Biafrans to go. Fredom allow the people to go to their promised land. For it is time for the Biafran land to be developed. It is the time for Biafran home to be looked onto. It is high time that we put things in place in our father's land. It is the high time we prove to the world the God-given gifts unto the Biafrans. It is the high time and the right time and the best time for people to know that Biafrans are highly blessed by Jehovah. It is the right time that the whole world and the best time. Who tell you, my brother, that Donald Trump will not seek for visa to come Africa? Who tell you, Baba, if you do things well, you put your home where people will run, they will come. No be people, everybody now they pursue that one go Burkina Faso. Is Burkina Faso not a country? Who made Burkina Faso what Burkina Faso is today? Is it not somebody idea? Who made Canada what Canada is? Is it not somebody idea? Who made America what America is today? Finland what Finland is today? South Africa, what South Africa is today, what Belgium is today. Baba, name them. Look at Ghana now. They are now deporting Nigeria. I could remember in 80s, they say Ghana must go. Who made Ghana? Today, what Ghana is somebody idea. But in Nigeria here, they don't want anything good to take place in Nigeria. And we want something good for ourselves. That is why we are standing on our ground to tell Nigeria and to tell the world we are due. The marriage affair have expired. So we have given Nigeria a divorce paper. So we want to divorce Nigeria.
But if they don't want to divorce Nigeria, so how do they divorce?
Excuse me, the divorce is already on the air. The divorce is already on the ground. And there is no mequatarism in the divorce. I repeat, no mequatarism in this divorce. We must divorce and we are already divided. So every Biafran should have this in their mind because we are going, no matter what Nigeria do. You can't force me to remain in a marriage that is not working. Simon Ekpan is one of the heroes. And I use this opportunity to tell all those who don't sue me, all those who sue me them, that are the Biafrans, all those enemies of freedom. Yes, Bible have already said it. A man's worst enemy are the members of his household. That is the word of God and that is the scripture. But I will tell you now that despite the fact you have made yourself an enemy, doesn't mean that you are going to stop me. Doesn't mean that you are going to stop Simon Ekpan. Doesn't mean that you are going to stop Mazen Namdekano. Doesn't mean that you are going to stop Ngozi Orabese. You can see what God is using that woman to do in Washington, D.C. What she have achieved on the 30th of May, 2025. The Embassy of Biafra have been placed at the Washington, D.C. Now, if I want to seek for visa, it will be easy. If I should travel to America, I have a base. And God will bless her. And that is why, because Donald Trump understands what it means for self-determination. Putin know what it means for self-determination. Likewise, every other countries know what it means for self-determination. My brother, let me tell you, do you know that the president of China today, as we speak now, prefer every Igbo man than having Nigeria in their country? Because he said that Igbos provide economic growth in their country. We supply up to 50 to 65% of China economic growth. We contributed to that. And you, yes. And that is why when Igbo man apply for China, one hand they will approve it because they know that money is about to enter. So having said all this and all this and all this and all this, you will agree with me. The whole world has seen the importance, not impotency, but the importance of the Biafra Igbo man being allowed to trade in their country. We are not impotent, we are important. There are two differences, impotent and important. So we are important, not impotent. So every Biafra man is important and it should be respected and should be valued. But I give God the glory. It is no longer the war or the battle of Nigeria and Simon Ekpan or Finland. It is now the battle between the Biafrans in the diaspora, between the Finland and Russia, between Nigeria and all Africa, between Putin and Nigeria and in the diaspora of the whole world. The game is open. You can see what happened in the court. As it's happening here in Nigeria, it's happening there, over there in Finland. You understand? So I give God the kudos, the glory. Everything is happening to the glory of God. That at the end of the day, by the time we emerge winner, we conquer Nigeria totally, we will emerge and come outside and lift up the flag and celebrate it. Because that flag deserves to be celebrated. And every heroes will be respect.
You saw what the development already. Russia, Finland has severe ties, and of course, we are looking at Nigeria at the same time, no, because Russia is gradually building, another bloc within Africa, and having gotten some African countries, you can see what is happening now. Any month from now, Ghana is leaving ECOWAS. So many countries are leaving ECOWAS. So Russia is targeting a new bloc in Africa, and that is why you are seeing massive, support on issue that has to do with Biafra recognition, to be part of the Sahel revolution. So it is a done deal already. There's nothing you can do about it. In as much as the Russian foreign minister has acknowledged the Biafran charter that was delivered directly to Moscow, so it's a good one. And not only that, Russia too want to send a strong signal to Finland, giving the continuous the trial of Samani Badal regime on 30th May, the Biafra Day, which is very significant to the people of the Biafras all over the world. So I do not know why the Finnish government, through the same day, over 6 million people were murdered to resume or to kickstart Samonipa's trial. But that is the angle where people are feeling that Russia has already, to an extent, blocked their whatever diplomatic ties they are going to have with Finland, neither now or in the future. And Russia is continuing to sever that ties and continue to take a stand on the issue that has to do with Ukraine. So it's a good one, yes, because the deal will be properly stated. And there's one thing we must give to Vladimir Putin. Yes, Chinese interest in Africa, Russian interest in Africa, will liberate the neocolonization agenda that has been rooted by these people. They call colonial masters, talking about the man who's already spearheading, the European and the Western world, gang up against African rights.
Okay, now let me even bring this angle, because we have seen so many videos, not of Israeli citizens saying Igbos are our brothers. The video is unending. I saw a video recently where the Jewish citizens were saying that they came to Nigeria to meet with their brothers, and unfortunately they were rounded up by DSS and apprehended.
Yes, of course. The fact is that the connection there is very deep. There's no doubt about it. And we have seen the history so far. And we also understand the need for us to recognize the people of the ancient Israelis that are called the Hebrews. The ancient Hebrews are blacks. And first has revealed that those ancient Hebrews are part of the people who are known or recognized as lost tribe of Israel. There is lost tribe of Israel. Because if you look at the first invasion of Israel between Samaria and Judah, as at that time, the first invasion was by the Assyrians, present-day Syria.
Okay, but because of the area you just go, perhaps you're already aware, this is all over the media, that if you go to Israeli websites, they have Igbos in that website as the lost tribe of Israel, and it's very prominent in their website. How is the news of that country?
Yes, it has always been there, ab initio, and that is why you cannot find Israeli embassy anywhere in Nigeria apart from the eastern part of the country, this very moment. And Israel has continued to identify with the Biafra struggle. This also tells you that at any point in time, you see the IPOB members all over the world, even those who are celebrating May 30, you only see 3 flags there. You see Israeli flag, you see American flag, and you see the Biafra flag. These 3 flags signifies the brotherhood. These 3 ties signifies identity. These 3 ties signifies genealogy. These 3 flags signifies the source.
So what we are doing in NSS is sighting of Israeli embassy in Igbo land is strategic by Israel government.
Yes, it's strategic because
it's not by mistake.
Yeah, it's not by mistake because Israel is always prone to any form of attack anytime, and they need to locate their embassy in a place where it will be protected.
In the midst of their brother.
Yes, in the midst. That's what it means. It's the midst of their brother. So that was why they choose to locate their put their embassy somewhere in the east. But the fact something that we must take away from is that I remember when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu house was invaded, and after some time, where did we see him?
He made appearance.
He made appearance at the Western Wall. And if you look at it, as I'm talking to you now, the present Israeli government, Benjamin Netanyahu, knows a lot about Biafra. His aides, his workers, both current and ex, has been speaking about Biafra in different fora. But anybody that is telling you that the Igbo, it's not even the Igbo that wrote that they are the Jewish people. Not the Igbos. The Igbos have the a culture and tradition that was bequeathed to them by their forefathers. I can tell you, I can mention two in the Bible I know. I know of Ezra to be an Igbo man. I know about Jeremiah in the Bible to be an Igbo man. And I know the reason why, if you go to Uri, go and Google it. If you go to Uri Kingdom today,
I'm talking about archaeological.
Yes, you go to Uri Kingdom. There's something that made them Eri and Uri. But I will not tell you. That is why you see the cross of David in everything they put on.
That even reminds me, let me even bring this angle, because in the declaration of Biafra that happened some time ago in Latin Finland, the Israeli citizen that spoke that day said what excited him is the Star of David in Biafra flag.
Of course, he's a very clear
thing. My brother.
Yes, of course, he's a very clear thing. They know how they can deny it. But you see, the people that came and said, these people are behaving like the ancient Jews. They are not the Igbo people that wrote it. It was the Portuguese that wrote it, not we.
That is fact finding.
And people can cross-check. And that is why they decided to name the first kingdom on earth. To kill. See, that name, Biafra, did not come from the Igbo people. I don't know why people are just saying Ojuku, Ojuku, Ojuku. No, it wasn't Ojuku. Is significant to the first kingdom that houses so many kingdoms. The name of that kingdom as at that time is Biafra. People will not do this. They can't go and find out. So, but what we're saying in essence is this: 3 countries that we will not sever our ties with already. Israel has given us that recognition already, morally, verbally, and otherwise. And we know that we have the capacity and the ingenuity to transform Biafra and Africa. Just one nation, just one sovereignty called Biafra can do that. So, and we need to build ties. And Russia have shown a lot of interest. Thank God for what Russia is doing in Africa currently now, because they know at the end of the day that if Africa rises today, check out how many countries that are in Africa. Check out where, if those countries emerge a superpower tomorrow, because of, they have decided to disarm themselves of this new colonization system. To do that. And America as a nation have the power to decolonize any nation, to decolonize Africa. If they feel they can do it, and that is why, you can see the build-up within Donald Trump. Everything is pro-Biafra.
I wanted to even ask you this concerning Susan, of course, who was a lobbyist to Nnamdi Kanu himself. His strategic position in Trump's government, I think it's a plus to the struggle.
But just to alert you, Trump has just appointed another one, Mercy McCarthy, who is a childhood friend to Dr. Ngozi Obrabeze, serving now currently under Trump administration.
So what is bringing this all experts to Biafra?
The thing is that something that I think the congressmen need to have a clear fact check on Biafra. They need to do their finding on Biafra, and they need to start talking about diplomatic ties and solutions on how to properly recognize Biafra and make Biafra a sovereign nation, a recognized sovereign nation where the whole world will embrace. So these things, that is the reason why the Biafra Washington Embassy was launched on the 30th of May, yesterday, just very close to the White House there, and what does that tells you? It tells you that, that will be a closer channel for people to come close, and begin to deliberate on diplomatic issues on how to handle about Biafra.
I wanted to even break that angle because we have seen trending video, the launching of that Biafra embassy in Washington DC. This is a groundbreaking event. This is historic. This is iconic. Of course, Biafra has taken over.
Of course, every citizen in America and Europe and in West Africa and in the West, precisely, that is where everything will be taken care of. Every meeting that has to do with diplomacy, relationship, sealing of ties, treaties will have to take place there, and that is why we have that embassy there. So it will help a long way to establish, diplomatic ties, diplomatic relationship, diplomatic discussions that will be centered on a proper way, to recognize and kickstart Biafra as a sovereign nation.
So it's strategic, and of course, it's going to be a meeting point for Biafra activities going forward.
Yes, it will be celebrated all over the world. I can tell you the number of congressmen that stormed the Washington Embassy Biafra yesterday, to declare it, officially open. So Nigeria is already, upset with that revelation that happened yesterday, and so many things are. You can see what is actually playing around now. Therefore, it's getting popular. You can see. I can tell you, as at yesterday, 70 countries of the world were on the street of those cities, celebrating the Biafran Day. Spain, Italy, Germany, America, London, name them, different countries. Different parts of the African countries.
It goes to show that the suffering of the hero parts of Biafra is not going in vain.
You know that the Biafra spirit has been resilient.
Refused to die.
Yes, refused to die. That's what it means, and it also means that that the children of the oppressed have also risen, and until the recognition of that religion, Biafra has become a religion. Biafra has become a destiny. Biafra has become a hope. Biafra has become, something that the people feel that it is only going to bring a source of life.
For American government to allow Biafra embassy in Washington DC, it goes to show the American government have practically recognized Biafra.
Of course, it's in line with the international law, and it's in line with United Nations Charter, and it's in line with what people tag, in a situation where we have a political oppression. People can seek for self-determination.
But let me even ask this question. You know that UN, arm of UN, that is responsible for emerging nations of the world, have since recognized Biafra as an emerging nation of the world. We know that America is strategic in UN. Perhaps the American government will have played a pivotal role in Biafra getting that fit at that level.
Yes, you cannot rule out, because of the perceived, diplomatic role Biafra will play to America and Israel and other powerful nations in the future, and also that currently now we have only 2 English nations within the francophone countries of the West Africa, so it's very strategic that they begin to look at that direction, considering the fact that they also have the resources and the human power, manpower to be a nation and also export expertise at the end of the day. So having looked at it very well, and the fact that this will have what it takes, and not only that, Biafra can be independent of the Western interest, of Western influence at the end of the day. And these are the things these powerful nations are actually looking at, to say, okay, these people have gotten to this level and they have done this in the past, and the people are everywhere. Then they cannot be from there. See, it doesn't take a Biafrans, to wipe away anything that has to do with terrorism in Africa. They can do it. We saw how they stood against the whole world for 4 years, during the genocidal war, the worst ever in the history of the world. They defended themselves, but today the story has changed. The same people you know, that over 6 million people were killed, have risen, and they are still, you know, on the struggle, because we know that Nigeria as a nation can never come up with the truth for one day. Yes, I thank God that some ministers of the Federal Republic of Nigeria has come out to say that the Nigerian government run on propaganda and lies. That is just the picture.
I think I must let you go at this point. Thank you very much for your time. Hope you have a nice time. Thank you very much.